The billionaire CEO came to the car dealership today to buy a car. But because he was dressed modestly, a powerful salesperson actually looked down on the CEO because of that. The salesperson thought the CEO could never afford a luxury car. She specifically told the new intern not to serve him. However, the intern, wanting to improve her service skills, still enthusiastically went to serve the CEO. At this time, she had no idea that this dealership was actually a subsidiary of the CEO's company. Just then, a nearby salesperson walked up to the CEO. She arrogantly told the CEO to leave the dealership immediately. She said the cheapest car at their dealership costs at least $300,000. The salesperson mocked the CEO, saying he could never afford it even if he worked his entire life. The CEO, however, calmly said, $300,000 for a car is too cheap. Please show me the most expensive car at your dealership. The most expensive car at their dealership was the orange sports car. It was worth $30 million. However, it had already been reserved by a mysterious billionaire. A few days ago, the CEO's secretary had ordered a luxury car for him. The car had already been programmed with the CEO's fingerprint. The CEO could simply unlock the car with his fingerprint at the dealership and drive it. But the salesperson didn't believe a word the CEO said. At that moment, a couple suddenly approached the CEO. The CEO immediately felt extremely irritated because the woman in the couple was his ex-girlfriend. It turned out that the CEO had once been very poor. His ex-girlfriend had broken up with him because she found him too poor. Later, his ex-girlfriend found a new boyfriend named Smith. Smith was the son of a billionaire worth tens of millions of dollars. When Smith heard that the CEO was his girlfriend's ex, he immediately mocked the CEO as a poor homeless man. He claimed the CEO had no right to even be in the same dealership as him. What Smith didn't know was that the CEO had since become a successful entrepreneur. He had become the richest person in the country. The salesperson beside them fawned over Smith. She ordered the CEO to leave the dealership because Smith was their dealership's most important client. She said the CEO's presence would disturb Smith. But the CEO stood still, not moving. He had come simply to pick up the luxury car he had already reserved. But seeing his ex-girlfriend and Smith acting so arrogantly, he immediately changed his mind. He silently swore to himself, "I will make this shameless couple feel embarrassed today." The CEO asked Smith what kind of car he was here to buy. Smith, wanting to prove his financial power, pointed to a luxury car worth $1.2 million. The salesperson was shocked. She asked Smith again to confirm if he was really buying it. Smith handed his credit card to the salesperson directly. He smugly flaunted his wealth to the CEO. But the next second, the CEO surprisingly said he was also interested in Smith's car. He was willing to pay double the price. He would pay $2.4 million to buy the car. The intern was astonished. She quickly advised the CEO that the car wasn't worth that much money. But the CEO didn't care about money at all. He just really hated Smith. He simply wanted to take something from Smith. Smith was furious. He was about to explode in anger. But then he suddenly realized the CEO couldn't possibly have that much money. He mocked the CEO, claiming he was just bragging. To Smith's surprise, the CEO handed his credit card to the intern. The intern simply swiped the card lightly and the payment went through instantly. While everyone was still in shock, the CEO did something even more unthinkable. He casually handed the car over to the intern as a gift. Seeing the intern benefiting from this, the salesperson immediately switched to a flattering attitude with the CEO. But the CEO told her to get lost. The intern was extremely confused. If the CEO gave me the car, then what car is the CEO driving? Unexpectedly, the next second, the CEO walked up to the $30 million car. Suddenly, Smith, who had been dejected, burst into laughter. He mocked the CEO for being ignorant and foolish. That car had already been reserved by the richest person in the country. No matter how rich the CEO was, he couldn't get it. The CEO calmly stated, "I am the richest person in the country." Smith didn't believe him at all. He arrogantly said, "If you're really the richest person in the country, then I'll kneel and apologize to you." The CEO smiled smugly. He lightly placed his hand on the fingerprint sensor of the car. The next second, the luxury car actually started. Smith was utterly shocked. The CEO urged Smith to fulfill his bet, quickly kneel and apologize. But Smith wanted to back out of the deal. At that moment, the dealership manager suddenly returned. He immediately recognized, back out of the deal. At that moment, the dealership manager suddenly returned. He immediately recognized the CEO. After understanding the situation, the manager slapped the salesperson across the face. He then fired her. Seeing things weren't going his way, Smith immediately tried to leave with his girlfriend, but the manager stopped him. He forced Smith to fulfill the bet. Smith still wasn't willing to comply. He even tried to threaten the manager with the dealership's membership card. If you don't let me leave today, the dealership will lose me as a valuable member. The manager thought Smith was crazy. He snapped the membership card in half and threatened Smith. If you don't apologize to the CEO, I'll have the bodyguards enforce the bet. Although Smith was furious, he gritted his teeth and knelt down to apologize to the CEO. The CEO, satisfied, then told Smith to leave the dealership.